Hello, everybody. I know all of you all are right here to listen to another story. We are so fascinated by stories, ain't we? And we never grow up out of them. We never outgrow them. We love to hear stories at any time. And that fascination of listening to stories has got on to me, and I love to tell stories. Storyteller here. My name is Meena Tilakraj, and I also do travel and tourism. So I'm into tourism and storytelling. And of course, I'm a mentor too for life skills and soft skills. So let's get on to a nice story. Okay. The title of today's story is A Golden Advice. Now, would you like me to carry on with English or Hindi? Rajiv ji, what do I
Oh,
do?
you can keep mixing. No worries.
I can keep mixing. Okay, fine. So thank you, Daya, for joining back. And I told you the title of the story is A Golden Advice. Yeah, I can also call it Ek Sunehri Salah. So the story is about a person who heeded an advice just out of the way, just like that. And he worked upon it. Because very often we always say you should be at the right place at the right time. But the trick of that is something else. I could also say that is the trick of inviting luck to yourself also. And the trick is that you have to prepare your clock and calendar for the right place and the right time. And the moment you do that, you get your luck. So this is about one such person. Now he was a very sincere young man, very hardworking young man, and he used to work in an office for a Seth. You know what are Seths? They run their offices like a banya shop also. The Seth, the owner of the company, is in command, and everybody else is the worker. Okay, so he was working there, and this Seth was very foul-mouthed, very ill-tempered person. He used to just shout at his workers and get after them and call them names. And this young boy, being so sincere, being so hardworking, he couldn't take it anymore. He one day, because his father was very ill and he had to take him to the doctor. So he reached a little late to the office. And when he reached late, this boss of his, he just started shouting at him. He started calling him names and he said, "What the hell do you think of yourself? And you're late and this will not do." And probably it was the tipping point for this person. So what he did was immediately he just got up and he said, "Okay, I'm leaving. I don't want to work with you anymore." And he just walked out. He just walked out. Now he was going back home. On his way, he decided to take a longer route. And he went the other way. Because he just didn't know how to go home and face his family, face his parents. They would ask him, "What happened? Why did you come home early?" So he took the longer route. And that route was actually the route which connected the king's palace to the city center. Okay. And as he was walking, he suddenly saw the king's financial advisor. He was the king's personal advisor too. He was walking along with some of his cronies, some of his people from the office. तो ये जो बंदा था, इसने देखा कि राजा का खास सलाहकार आ रहा है अपने कुछ साथियों के साथ. तो वो वहां से गुजर रहे थे. He was passing by from there, and this particular financial advisor was talking. And he said he was talking about opportunities, about, naturally he was a financial advisor, so he was giving advice to his people as to how to take opportunities. And suddenly he saw in a corner of the street a dead rat. And he pointed out to the dead rat. And he told those young people, young boys, probably they were his students or his followers. He said, can you see that dead rat? Now, if somebody is intelligent, he can make a fortune even from the dead rat. None of his followers took action on that. But this young man, let's call him Ramji. Okay? This young man, Ramji, he heard that. And he said to himself, now he had heard a lot about this financial advisor, that this particular financial advisor is a very, very intelligent man, very, he has a very good understanding about financial matters. So he felt, अगर इन्होंने कुछ कहा है, तो वो सही होगा. So what he did is, आओ देखा ना ताओ, he just didn't bother. He went there and he picked up the dead rat by its tail. Okay. And now he was thinking, what will he do with this dead rat? He was just thinking about the dead rat. Can you imagine somebody just picking up a dead rat and going along and thinking how to make a fortune out of this dead rat? जा रहा था, he was walking. And suddenly there was somebody who came from the front and he saw this dead rat in his hand. And he stopped him. He said, hello, young man, you have a dead rat in your hand. What are you going to do with this? He said, well, let me see how it would be useful. So this man said, yes, if you give it to me, it will be useful for me. Ramji was very curious. He said, how come it will be useful for you? For what? Because he wanted to understand where is the fortune lying in this dead rat. So he asked him, and that fellow said that I have a very big store. I'm a grain merchant, and there are lots of rats in my store. And I have a cat. And today, the cat is going to go hungry because she's finished off all the rats. There's no rat left in the store. And she is getting very, very upset. She's very fidgety now. So when I give her this rat, she'll be very happy. Ramji said, oh, so that is it. And within his mind, he was thinking, now I can charge him a price. So that fellow said, I'll give you 1 anna. Now we are talking about probably Buddha times. This is a Buddha story. Okay. So he said 1 anna. Ramji said, no, sorry, 1 anna is too little. I said, okay, 2 anna. 2 anna. Again he said no. So finally it was settled at 3 anna. Okay, 3 anna. So उसने 3 anna ले लिए. Now 3 anna, we are talking about Buddha times. 3 anna was quite a fortune. You could say 3 anna then could be about, say, 3,000 or maybe even more today. Okay. ठीक है. ले लिया. Now he decided he is not going to go home. वो 3 आना लेके, do you know what he did? He went to a mithai shop. He bought some mithai and he bought one matka, a water pot. He filled it up with drinking water. He bought a glass. He kept the glass on that and he kept the mithai. Now that corner where he sat down was the corner to turn around to go to a temple. Okay. And people would come to go to the temple. So they started stopping by him when they saw the matka because it was very hot. So they stopped by to drink water. And along with that, they say, "Oh, mithai bhi hai," and they bought some mithai for the temple for prasad. Very good. From 3 आना, he made 10 आnas. Great. He was thrilled, and he's telling himself that financial advisor is definitely a great man. He gave me the idea. He went home and he started doing the same thing almost every day, sitting in that corner with mithai. After 3 4 days, he started keeping flowers also. So people would buy flowers for the temple, they would buy sweets, and he would offer water. Dhoop hai, pani pee lo. You know. So by offering water, he got a customer. He got customers. Now remember, my dear friends, we have the Eastern wisdom or the Indian wisdom, which says, "Ek beej pehle dalo," just sow one seed. What does the earth say? Just give me one seed and a little love and care, and I will give you a tree full of seeds, a tree full of fruits, a tree full of shade. Isn't it? So that is what he did. So he would offer to passers-by, he would offer water to drink, and they would stop by and buy stuff. Karte karte, he started earning a lot of money every day. Now, this was summer. After that, the rainy season started. And after the rainy season, there was a lot of grass growing in the king's palace. And the king called some grass cutters to cut the grass. Okay. And he saw some workers coming every day with loads of grass on. So he stopped them. He said, "Would you like to have some water? It's very warm. Why don't you put the grass down and have some water?" So they would have water and he would give them free laddus, right? One laddu to each and some water. And so they asked him, "What can we give you?" So he said, "You can give me some grass. You can deposit. You don't have to carry it." So they were very happy that they didn't have to carry the load and throw it somewhere else. So they would eat the laddu and drink the water and leave the grass with him, because otherwise they had to just carry the grass and dump it somewhere. They didn't have to do that. It lessened their work, and they were only too happy to dump the grass to him. And he kept the grass. And he would try to dry it in the sun whenever there was sun, and otherwise he would keep it, save it on the side. Now, what happened? Now it was a season after that for the king to buy new horses for the next season. So there was a team of horsemen who were selling horses. They were bringing horses. And they saw piles of grass next to this man. And they said, "What are these piles of grasses for? Of grass for? ये इतना सारा घास किसके लिए रखा है आपने?" So he said, "जो खाएगा उसके लिए." So they said, हमारा घोड़ा खाएगा, हमारे इतने सारे घोड़े हैं, ये खाएंगे. So he told them, कि okay, for about a few days I can give you grass. And they paid him a handsome amount for the grass. And he got grass money. Okay. And by now, he had made enough money to put up a little shop. Okay. So he put up a little shop next to the temple. But he did not give up that little place outside. He would still keep stuff there because people would get tempted with that and they would come inside. So he would still keep whatever was available for the season, because that was his trick, that he would keep stuff for the season also. Other than he started keeping a lot of things inside the shop, which were offerings for the temple. He kept agarbatti, he kept dhoop, he kept diya, he kept prasad, he kept flowers, he kept everything, But he would keep the seasonal stuff even outside. So he would earn both ways. Wasn't he smart? That's very smart. So he kept doing that. And then, as days passed by, from a small shop, the shop became big. He became a rich merchant. A rich merchant. And then he heard, there's a ship going to land, and there are some traders from some other country, and they are going to come here, and they are going to come here to exchange their goods and buy things from India to go and sell them in their country. And this man said, I cannot let this opportunity go. ये मौका तो मैं जाने नहीं दूंगा. Okay, तो उसने क्या किया? What did he do? वो गया ज्वेलर के पास. And he bought a very beautiful ruby ring. Ruby यानी मानिक in Hindi. मानिक की एक बहुत ही सुंदर अंगूठी उसने खरीदी. Right? बड़ी सारी, खूब बड़ा सा मानिक था. पैसे थे ना उसके पास, अब तो वो बड़ा व्यापारी हो गया था. तो उसने बड़ी सारी अंगूठी खरीदी और उसने इंतजार किया. तो जब वो जहाज आया, when that ship landed and the main person of the ship came down with all his people, and they were going, and he was informed, he found out, he got the information कि इनका जो मेन बंदा है वो कौन है, कैसा है. So he got all the information, he collected all that information, and he waited for it. And then when he saw them, all the whole entourage coming, now he had a nice big store, so he invited them in, and he offered them sweets, he offered them drinks, and then he approached the main person and he offered him the gift of that ring. Okay, and that fellow was absolutely flabbergasted. वो इतना हैरान हो गया कि जान ना पहचान, ये कौन है, ये कौन बंदा है, और मुझे इतना कीमती तोहफा दे रहा है, ये क्यों दे रहा है, इसको क्या चाहिए. थोड़ा दिमाग में तो बात आती है ना. You start thinking, why is somebody unknown stranger giving me such a gift? So he said, I am not unknown. I know about you. I know who you are. I know why you have come here. And I am also a trader. And I know what you need. And I know a lot of people who are traders and who are selling the kind of stuff that you're looking for, because I'm a trader myself. And I can help you get your stuff at very good rates and good quality also. And this gift is for you to give me the permission to work with you. He was very upfront. Okay. So that fellow was very impressed and very happy. So he said, definitely, we will buy it through you. Okay. You come along and you take our people, you take me also, and we will buy the stuff. So he earned from there also, because the shopkeepers जिनका सामान वो बिकवाता था, he used to, those shopkeepers obviously used to give him something. He became very rich. And उसकी दुकानें एक दो तीन चार दुकानें हो गई, खूब सारा हो गया, and he became very famous. Now let's go back to the king's advisor. Okay, now this king's advisor had a daughter, very beautiful daughter, very nice daughter, and she was of a marriageable age, and he was looking for a nice groom for his daughter. So suddenly he thought, that shop in the corner, that person, let me approach him. In fact, somebody told him about it. He said, you know something, this man has grown over the years and he has become a very big trader. He's very famous now. So the king's advisor went to him and he said, I would like to invite you home for meals, for a lunch. This man was surprised. He said, how? He said, no, I've heard about you, how you have grown up and how you have, grown in your business, and now you've become a very famous trader in a country, and you have helped our guests to buy stuff and all that. They were speaking very highly of you, so that is why I would like to invite you. And when he invited him, and that is the time he spoke to him and he said, I have a daughter. His daughter had come out to serve refreshments and all. So when the daughter went inside, he said, this is my daughter. Would you like to marry her? अरे अंधा क्या मांगे दो आंखें, उसको तो तीसरी भी मिल गई. This is a phrase in Hindi. What does a blind man want? Two eyes. But he got the third one also. Imagine the king's personal financial advisor approaching him for marriage for his daughter. Normally, it's a custom that it is the boy's family that approaches the girl's family. But here, ulti ganga bhai, because he heard so much about this man. So he said, I must not miss this catch for my daughter. And on the other side, this boy, Ramji, he is feeling within himself, laddu put rahe hain. I mean, he is thrilled beyond his wits. Oh my God, I'll get married to the king's financer's daughter. Of course, do you think he would say no? Would you say no to such a proposal? Come on. So he accepted it. And he told the king that I am going to get my daughter married to such and such a man. So he said, but you don't know him. How come you're getting married to him? Let's call him and let's find out how has he grown rich like this. Because we cannot give a young girl to some cheat or something. We must know how he's made his fortunes. Right? So let's call him. So the king and his financial advisor, both together, they called him to the palace. Again, he was very surprised. He said, oh God, now the king wants me to come to his palace. Now what? What's next? So he went to the palace. And he asked, the king asked, how did you build your fortune? And the moment the king asked that, Ramji got up and touched the feet of the financial advisor and he said, it is all this man's blessings. Even the financial advisor was surprised. He said, but how? What did I do? Well, how did I contribute? Right? So he said, sir, and he told him the whole story, how one day he was passing by and he saw the dead rat. He told him that whole story. And both of them were so very impressed. And the king's advisor said, you actually took that advice? And all those young people who were with me, none of them took the advice, and you took the advice? Very smart. But It is how you went forward with it. You were so creative in your thinking. You first bought the grass, and then you bought this, and then you bought that, and you started offering free laddus and free water to everybody. And so it is something that you did also. It was not just the rat, okay, not just the dead rat. He said, but anyway, it all started with you. The king was so impressed with him that he appointed him as the second advisor in line after the first financial advisor. He said, you will also be my financial advisor for all the state affairs. Now he got a job also. He was a businessman and he got a job also. So he deputed his work in his business to his workers, and he was the king's advisor, and he got married to the finance advisor's daughter. What a fortune! That is what is called creating your own clock and calendar, and maybe your own map also as to where you will do what. How did you like the story? Does the story tell you something? Friends, I would like you to mention in the comments as to what did you get from the story? Did you like the story? What about the story did you like? And how does it help you think further? Okay? You can connect with me on Facebook. You can connect with me on YouTube. I can also give you my number. My WhatsApp number is 8452 010 472. Once again, 8452 010 472. That's my WhatsApp number. So friends, please do comment on YouTube. Do join in, register with the channel. Subscribe to the channel, and do put in your comments. Do put in your queries also. You can ask questions. I will try to answer it. I'm not an encyclopedia, but I'll try to answer it. Okay? Thank you very much. Do you all have any questions now? Anyone? You can ask me. Otherwise, we will stop here. Hello? No, I don't know. It doesn't look like anybody is asking any questions. But I thank you all for giving me your time. And of course, I thank Zana, our platform, to give me this opportunity to come here and tell your story.